Hello, this is Hazel or Hazely Nut, I go by both, bringing to you another audio commentary of the second game in WeMade Fox vs SKT T1. This will be a TVZ between Mind from WeMade Fox and S2 from SKT T1 on the map Destination. Now, the problem is, Destination looks like it's quite imbalanced towards this matchup. I'm not really sure why SKT T1 put forward a Zerg for this map. Maybe it's just the new Pro League rules. I'm not sure really how that works. But Destination is 62.1% TVZ. Part of the reason is probably because there are just so many bridges. There's not enough open ground to really do a flank. And you basically have units channeled straight into tank fire and marine fire, and that's really what you don't want as a Zerg player, as I have experienced before in all my TVZs, or ZVTs. So we have Mind, who is actually quite good, he's pretty decent against Zerg. He's 57% against Zerg, while S2 is only 50% against Terran. S2 is one of those Zerg players that SKT T1 brought in to try to revamp the Zerg scene in SKT T1, which hasn't been doing too well. But for the past 5 matches and in Pro League, the Pro League season, they have been doing pretty well, I think. So maybe we will see a nice game. I'm kind of leaning towards Mind. Mind looks like he has more experience, just he does better against Zerg. The map itself is imbalanced, or balanced towards Terran. So we have Mind spawning in green at the bottom, and we have S2 spawning in some other color at the top. We'll see. But anyway, I wanted to thank everyone who did give me comments on Collar's channel and on all those videos. I commentated on the MST Group A, July 4GG, Firefist, and Dr. K. I commented with Collar on those, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you had fun watching them. And those comments really did help me. I'll try to be more enthusiastic, and maybe this game I'll start saying chogaling, 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 or something. Or mutalisco. We'll see. Here we have first person VOD. Both players have really high APM. I wish I had that. Anyway, thanks for the comments. And also thanks to everyone who has been replying for Intercollegiate StarCraft. Really, I've been getting an amazing amount of feedback. People from Carnegie Mellon, UPenn, Yale, MIT, all these different places. University of Maryland, that's actually my home school, and some people email me from there, and apparently they live down the hall from some of my friends, so shout out to them, I guess. Shout out to everyone, actually. Thanks for replying. I just had I'm actually trying to set up a website, a central website for all these intercollegiates to happen, and I don't actually have a name for it. If anyone has any suggestions for a web domain name for something like Intercollegiate StarCraft, please do tell me. Let's not do, I was thinking of something like Intercollegiate Star League, but it wasn't quite that catchy. But we'll see. So it looks like S2 did send out a drone scout. It won't be able to get in. Mind is... Oh, that's why Mind is walling off his ramp, because he's up to no good. He has a refinery. He's probably going to go for something like vultures, or maybe he'll go for something like the fantasy build, which is would be quite interesting, using the fantasy build against SKT T1. But that might not actually be very effective, because S2 has probably practiced against fantasy at some point in his life. S2 is going the standard 12 hatch. We'll see whether he goes into lurks or mutas, or whether he is very careful about that walled off ramp, because it does look a bit suspicious. Usually when Zergs see that walled off ramp, they automatically sunken up or something like that, or they sunken up depending on the timing of when a vulture would come out. But these programmers are quite used to that stuff. So, it looks like S2 is going 3 hatch, so maybe 3 hatch mutas. He may go for 3 hatch mutas. He is building that creep colony. For some reason he cancelled it. Maybe he just repositioned, he's repositioning his creep colony so that vulture cannot get across no matter what. And Mind is not dedicating anything to marines. He's not dedicating anything at all. He built 1 or 2 marines, possibly to snipe off any unsuspecting overlords, just to hold his ramp a little better. But now he has produced a vulture, and he is getting machine shop. I'm not sure if he's going to switch into tech from there, like siege tech. Probably not. But we'll see. I don't think he's going for that really annoying wraith harass. I always find that annoying. But anyway, this might not actually be the best map for vulture harass. I mean mech against Zerg, just because there are those two bridges. The vulture will not be able to get past. The vulture is basically useless. You've just dedicated 75 minerals to something that won't really be able to do anything other than stave off Zergling attacks with patrol micro, because those two bridges are the only way through, so it'll be difficult for mine to do anything. But he does seem to get that overlord. Here's some interesting micro. That marine is running while the vulture snipes off those two Zerglings. Good for him. And I'm not sure if that overlord is going to go down. It probably won't. That barracks is scouting for both of those marines. Meanwhile, S2 has gone for layer tech. We'll probably see what he does. He might go mutas, depending. Against mech, I'm not sure, actually. I haven't played mech very often. If there were wraiths, hydras would be probably a good idea. But it looks like mine is dedicating himself to this mech build. You really have to dedicate yourself. You can't really switch gears halfway. He's getting second factory up. He might go for tanks and vultures. I'm not actually sure. But since S2 has gone for hydras, that might be a different story. Like Goliath would be good against mutas, but yeah, I'm not sure. See, Mind has built that armory in preparation possibly for mutas, but now that he's seen these hydras, he won't have to go so much for that tech route, because mech is quite vulnerable. At least vultures are quite vulnerable to mutalisks, 3-hatch mutalisks. And even if you have 1 or 2 Goliaths, it's not going to be much. It won't do much unless you have something like Wraiths and Valkyries, maybe. And in the meantime, Mind is moving forward with those vultures. He lost that vulture quite carelessly, I think. He's trying to snipe off these hydras with speed upgraded vultures, but he's just losing them. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just trying to keep down the hydra count for something else. Mind has gone for Goliaths now. Usually you have a mix of vultures, tanks, and Goliaths. I think he's upgrading Terran boosters right now, just in anticipation of possible mutalisks. They're probably not going to come. One problem with this build is that you don't get that academy, you don't get that comsat early enough to be able to tell really what tech route the Zerg player is going, because you really don't have as much intelligence unless you do have like a vulture sneak by. So you see that what's it called? Mind is building these turrets kind of early. I don't believe S2's Spire is up yet. He's kind of gone the wrong route against Hydras. This is an interesting play by S2, I'd have to say. He went Hydras instead of Mutalisks, kind of throwing off, playing some mind games with Mind, making him dedicate so many minerals just to turrets when he really needs something else. And wow, he just upgraded Overlord speed. Maybe he was anticipating something like Valkyries. Both players seem to be kind of playing in the dark and kind of trying to outguess each other. Maybe S2 went Hydras because he thought that he would be going against Wraiths or Valkyries or something crazy like the fantasy build, but as we can see, that didn't happen. And then it looks like Mine built all these Goliaths, crazy numbers of Goliaths. They are pretty good against Hydras, I think. Not exactly the best. I think tanks would be the best. But he built Goliath with Terran upgraded boosters. And meanwhile, S2 is building Scourge against, well, Mine doesn't have any air whatsoever. So really, we're getting this back and forth of guess wrong. Guess your opponent's strategy incorrectly. But luckily, I guess Mine has turrets, yay, to counteract those Scourge. Yeah, so both players have kind of gone the wrong tech route, but in the end I think it balances out, I'd say. But I believe S2, because of that Overlord speed, it might not just be able to escape from Valkyries, it might also be because of a drop. That's actually quite possible. Maybe he's going for a drop on the back. Meanwhile, Mind is really macroing up. He's getting 2 more factories, and S2 is transferring drones. Did I miss a expansion? He might be expanding. Those overlords also do come in handy for mines. That was actually smart of him, getting overlord speed so that he would be able to scout out his mines, because really once you have vultures and mines are quite effective against Zerg, when because you really have no detection other than overlords, and overlords are slow. And it looks like that Rhinodon, I don't know what its name is, that critter is just blocking that Hydralisk. But that overlord, I'm not sure if it's just scouting or if it has stuff inside, but it's going to get sniped off by that Goliath, kind of careless by S2. But S2 does need to